Next, the London play Like No Other. Sucker Punch is its name. It's set in the 80s at the height of race riots and tensions between young black men and police.
And what makes this play so gritty is its set. A boxing ring dominates the stage with bouts between the main characters.
Critics have called it bruising and gripping, so I went to find out a little bit more about it.
It was 1981 and racial tensions in London were boiling over. The Brixton riots saw these tensions turn to all-out war between police and local communities, and this is the backdrop for a new play.
Sucker Punch looks at what it was like to be young and black growing up in the 1980s. They've transformed the Royal Court into a boxing gym, complete with a ring bought from the famous Repton Boxing Club in the East End, where the likes of the Cray brothers used to train.
Roy Williams' Sucker Punch centres around two young black men who were growing up during the 80s, trying to define themselves in this troubled era.
Well, the 80s, that was kind of, you could say that was my decades. I grew up in that era. It was a lot different, lot less tolerance, much more racist, much more in your face. Relationships, you could say, between black youths and police weren't that great. I don't think they're that great now, but back then I think it was a lot worse. So it was a troubled time.
Errol Christie, who was a professional boxer at the time, was drafted in to turn these young actors into credible fighters for the run, and remembers how different things were back then.
Brixton, it was in our face all the time. You know, it was, the kids of my colour were very dejected. They was sort of run down. They was, I don't think they was encouraged to improve on themselves, to better themselves. And anything they tried to go for, the door wasn't open for them. I think guys like myself, the only way through a door was through sports.
Actors Anthony Welsh and Daniel Kaluuya trained for 3 long months to get in shape for this play, and not only have they transformed their bodies, but have clearly found the whole experience enlightening.
Well, me and Dan are really familiar with a lot of the Black Power movement that happened in America, and the images, I'm so familiar with them, and I see things and I'm like, yeah, I know that. Yeah. And then when we was doing research for this, there was so much footage and pictures and all sorts that I'd never seen before, and it happened like 2 streets away from me.
It was eye-opening to see that this is just another world, and it was only 20 years ago. And if we was back then, we would have, if they thought we was all right, they said, oh, try boxing. Yeah. Because, you know, you can box, you can do this, and it was like there was less options. And I feel very privileged for the generation above us to open the doors and fight the battles that they did, so that we could be who we are now and like fulfill our dreams.
They were really interesting, really nice guys, yeah. Sounds like a good play. Yeah, very fit.